Well, when you think of the space race and shooting for the stars, Aussie-made rockets and astronauts don't exactly spring to mind.
No, not exactly. But we've now got two brothers on the Gold Coast who are looking to change all of that. They want to put Australia in the pilot seat of space exploration. Adam and James Gilmore. They're joining us now. Strawberry Farm in Pimpama, and now it's the headquarters of a global space technology business. What on earth happened to you, boys?
G'day, hi. Hi Jane, hi Tom.
Hey. So what happened?
We wanted to do something in Australia because we have been space fans for a very long time. My brother and I have always wanted to be astronauts, and we just haven't noticed that there's enough activity in Australia, so we wanted to do something about it. We've been planning this since about 2010, set up the company in 2012, and we've set up just opposite the Strawberry Farm now, our first space academy and Australia's first space academy.
So what happens at Australia's first space academy? What do you do?
Well, you've got a whole lot of different space-related simulators that you can do. You've got full-size space capsules that have degrees of motion that simulate a rocket launch into space. We've got mission control where you communicate with that capsule. We've got fighter cockpit trainers that teach you all the basics of flight training. We've got activities that involve motion. You're just looking at one now where you spin around. That's replicating an out-of-control spacecraft that was used in some of the early astronaut training from NASA, and a few other simulators like that.
Now, I'm reading that you guys actually have launched a test rocket. Can you tell us a bit about that? Can you tell us, did people on the Gold Coast say, what the hell is going on in our backyard here?
You can go, James.
Yeah, well, look, we successfully launched Australia's first rocket on the 22nd of July to a small altitude of about 5.2 Ks. And, yeah, essentially it was a test, a successful technology demonstrator for our further development. And, yeah, we do get that a lot when people say, you know, rockets built in Pimpama or the Strawberry Farm. I don't know, I mean, to me it kind of makes sense. A strawberry knot, why not?
More successful than most of North Korea's test rockets.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So what's your long-term aim? Like, where is this going to go, do you think?
Well, the space company, we are developing launch vehicles for satellites. So we're looking at small satellites like CubeSats and satellites that are up to 50, 100 kilograms. But we have plans for much bigger rockets that can take bigger satellites and even people. So we are definitely looking at manned space exploration.
When could we get some Aussies into space, launched from the Goldie?
Well, we're not going to probably launch from the Gold Coast, but we'll be making the rockets around here. And we think the first rockets that will take satellites will be in about 4 or 5 years. But if I have to kind of keep it real with how space technology goes, people won't be going to space for about 8 to 10 years with our rockets.
Right, OK. Does the Australian government, have you chatted to them about what you're doing?
Well, I think they might know
we
now.
are talking to the Australian government about what we're doing, but they're treading very cautiously right now. I think the philosophy with the Australian government's always been that space is this billion-dollar kind of sinkhole of money. And what we've realised is, you know, the last 5, 10 years, space has become not so expensive, and there's a lot of space companies out there that are doing really good stuff with just tens of millions of dollars instead of billions of dollars, and that's what we are.
Yeah, we also think that there's winds of change, you know, pushed on by industry bodies like the Space Industry Association of Australia and the National Space Administration of Australia. And we're also doing our bit and looking to contribute to that, because we definitely do have a philosophy in that if you want to go fast, you go by yourself, but if you want to go far, go together. So, yeah, we're in it to change the game.
When I was a young lad, I used to make my own little rockets every now and then in the backyard. Wasn't overly successful. There were some ugly scenes. Have you guys had a couple of...
Well, that's a start.
Have you had any hiccups along the way? Has there been a rocket that instead of going up has gone sideways or something like that?
Well, not sideways, but if anybody tells you they've got a rocket company and they haven't had anything wrong, they're lying. So we've had a couple of very minor explosions, and they really are. And but all our rocket tests have been good. We haven't had any kind of explosions on the pad or anything like that.
And what have you got planned for the school holidays?
Well, we're busy with our Space Academy, actually. We've got space camps, space activities, tours, lots of different stuff going on.
Yeah, space education, birthdays, events, yeah, you can find more information online at spaceflightacademy.com.au.
Yeah, well, for young men and women who are into space and all things space on the Gold Coast, sounds like a pretty good way to spend school holidays,
Maybe
doesn't
that's
it?
the Christmas party, Jay. We'll put you in that machine and just
Why not?
spin around.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, Adam and James Gilmore, thanks for joining us this morning. Great to chat to you.
Thanks very much. To the stars.